So what I'm going over today is my transmitter setup for my no prep drag car. Now, I'm not using the Sanwas, the Futabas, or the Spectrums. I had a bad experience last season with Spectrum, where my actual transmitter itself stopped getting signal after about 15-20 feet. It was very confusing. It seemed like the car was cutting out on power, as if I was reaching like a low battery voltage or something like that, when in actuality what was happening was the transmitter would lose signal, but every time I got close to the car it would pick up signal again and then start moving the car again. So it's a little bit confusing. I got it figured out, but I'm not using Spectrum anymore. Now I'm using the Flysky Noble NB4, and I really do like this setup. Number one, there is a very good mount available for it from Cone Performance KKPIT. This is the KKPIT mounting bracket for basically a cold shoe mount, and then you can put any cold shoe mount arm onto it, then cell phone camera holder, and anything that you want that has a cold shoe mount you can put on there. You can actually put a selfie stick, have it going long, and then have a GoPro at the bottom, so you can use this for shooting videos and stuff like that. But when it comes to no prep drag racing, this is what I want it for. I want it to be able to have my live monitoring going on at all times. As you can see right now, we have the live dashboard up there. So if I start giving it gas, we're going to see RPM. If I give it some spikes, we get the amp draw in there. And I do have an upgraded brushless fan on the ESC, so it does spin up pretty fast, but it also drives, cools it down pretty quick too. With the steering, a lot of people are talking about response time and how responsive it is. Now, when it comes to the actual setup that you're gonna run on the strip and when you're racing, you have to make some adjustments. You have to turn down the speed a little bit, put some expo and some dual race to make sure you're not steering too far off in any direction. But as far as zero adjustments to the settings on the servos, this is bone stock. The way these servos are, there's no expo, there's no anything like that. The servo speed is at 100%. It is a relatively high speed servo. I mean, not high speed, things like 0.09 milliseconds at the voltage that we're running it at. So it should be pretty responsive. So just so you can see how quick the response time is with this. I mean, this is way too fast for drag racing, but it just gives you an idea of how responsive this setup is. So yeah, with that, I mean, there's so many more sleek features with this. It keeps it on par with the Futabas, the Sanwas and all that. I mean, there's very few things that they can do that this can't. And at the same time, I do have my live monitoring up here. So we have the ability to see the peak amps that we drew, the peak temperatures on the ESC and on the motor, the voltage on the battery pack. It's in storage voltage right now, that's why it's at 7.5. But yeah, that's basically it. So if you're interested in checking into it's cheaper than the more expensive ones. It's not as expensive as the Futabas. It's only, I think, for just the transmitter itself without any receivers, it's I think 200 bucks, just over 200 bucks. And for under 300 bucks, you can get it with 2 different receivers. So I mean, definitely a good setup. It's fast, responsive, has all the adjustments that you want to have inside the receiver or inside the transmitter for like expo, servo speed. It also has 2 different speeds for servo, both input and then return speed. So you can have it return faster than the amount that you input. You can really give it a a lot of adjustments to have it working the way that you like it. And I mean, it has a great battery setup. So you have 2 batteries, one in the handle and a charging base here, which is just like basically a power supply. So you can plug in something to the USB. It has micro and standard, and you can, you know, charge your phone off of this while you're racing. So I mean, there's a lot of great features to this setup. And when it comes to drag racing, it's got the most important things for me: a responsive signal, responsive inputs, and the ability to easily mount my phone onto the transmitter so I can see the live data as I'm driving the car. So if there's anything that goes wrong, if there's any spikes in temperatures, any crazy drops in voltage, I see it right away. There's no checking my phone for it afterwards. I got everything going live. Well, if you found this video was helpful, give me a likes up. If you don't find it was helpful and you thought it was boring or something like that, give me a thumbs down. And if you want to see more content like this, give me a subscribe. All right, have yourself a good day.